Ron Casey takes over for Dylan Lawson as the hitting coach of the New York Yankees. Give us everything.
It's not a joke, and that's the first thing. Also, he goes back with Aaron Boone. They were teammates, and Casey is a guy in this age of communication, when we talk about the importance of communication, there is no one who communicates better than Sean Casey. So what's interesting about the move to me is that they're going from Dylan Lawson, a heavy analytics guy with no major league background, to a guy who I'm sure understands the analytics and can deal with it, but is all about talking hitting and connecting with people. It's probably what they need right now. And they've got a lot of veteran guys, Donaldson, LeMahieu, Stanton to an extent, Rizzo since May 20th, no home runs. A lot of guys who have not produced at the levels that you would expect. And of course, yes, Judge is not part of the equation right now. Well, they have to deal without him. And they've not dealt without him very well. So it's an interesting move when you have a guy who's never coached at any level. But hey, major league teams keep hiring guys who have never coached at any level from different backgrounds. Why not hire one who actually was a player and a pretty good one?
Why didn't the Yankees try this with Phil Nevin and Aaron Boone? Because they're like best friends.
Yes.
And then they ended up firing Nevin. Now he's the manager of the Angels. Because
True.
remember the third base, he was coaching third, and he was sending guys home, and they were getting thrown out, and the crowd was booing everybody.
If Casey doesn't perform, they'll fire him. And
So Aaron Boone's just firing. He's hiring all his friends to fire him?
well, it's the GM who makes the hires in concert with Boone. But AJ was pointed out today by our guys at The Athletic, Brendan Cuddy and Chris Kirshner, that when you fire a hitting coach, the manager comes under a certain level of scrutiny too. And there probably is increased scrutiny under Aaron Boone right now than there was 24 hours ago.
So you think Booney could be done at the end of this year? Because before last week, it's only fans that have been saying something
Right.
about Boone. And now,
Still only fans.
but do you feel like this is the first?
It's a fair question, Eric. And I think it depends somewhat on how they finish the season. I have not heard a single thing about the front office being down on Aaron Boone. I had heard stuff in recent weeks about some discontent with the hitting approach. Some people in the organization saying, hey, what are we doing? We got this great exit velocity, we can't get on base. So that's a different set of circumstances than the manager. But at the same time, at some point, if they don't feel like they're getting the most out of their team, that does reflect on the manager. Aaron Boone's been pretty successful there. Just because he hasn't beaten the Astros doesn't mean he hasn't been successful.
But who's more responsible for it? The team is made.
Yep.
Is this a Cashman time?
That's the question a lot of fans are asking too. And we've asked it in the media at times. Certainly roster construction, which is part of the hitting problem, right? That goes to Cashman. And if the team does not perform at a level appropriate for its payroll, that's on the GM. Now, he's been the GM 26 years. They've been remarkably successful, even though they haven't won a World Series since 2009. But Hal Steinbrenner is remarkably loyal. And he's been loyal to Cashman. He's going to be loyal to Boone. He was loyal to Aaron Judge in his own way with the money. It's a really interesting dynamic there, to say the least.
I kind of like it because a good hitting coach can definitely help. They can give you information. They can spot some holes in the swings and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I always believe, to me, it's about the players going out and executing. So a lot of times you'll see the hitting coach will kind of fall on the blade for the team. They're not hitting there. They're usually the ones that get fired. So it kind of comes down. They can give you all the information, but I'd rather have someone I enjoy working with every day. Someone who can verbalize what we're trying to get done. And I think that's where Sean Casey comes in well. I think he's going to get back to kind of the basics, and he's going to be fun to work with. He's going to get them in a good mood. He's going to have them feeling better.
And, I mean, lineup-wise, the last thing on the Yanks, they could probably use an outfielder, right?
Left field, they never replaced the left fielder.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know Cody Bellinger's a name that's been kicked around as a possibility.
Esteban Florial.
Well, Florial's in their system.
20 homers.
Do you think he should be called up?
I think he should get a shot.
But do you think, I mean, the Yankees will be a very active team at the trade deadline? Rodon's back. That's cool. That's great. But on the offensive side of things, they can't, even when Judge is back, like, we go into the playoffs again. If Judge is not carrying them, and also the playoffs, things just get smarter and more strategic, right? Like, don't let Aaron Judge beat you.
Right.
So don't they have to figure out having more threats offensively? And obviously Yankee fans have been calling for Josh Donaldson to not be there anymore. But overall, like, I'm looking at the last game for them. It's not a super threatening lineup. It's just not compared to some of the others. I mean, top team in the league right now, or in all of baseball, is the Braves. You stack those two lineups against each other. It's not close.
It's not
No,
close.
I agree. And in general, I'm never a fan of firing hitting coaches because it really is the responsibility of all the other things we're talking about. Roster construction, execution by the players. At the same time, here, in this case, I'm anxious to see how this plays out because there was frustration with Lawson, and he didn't seem to be connecting with the players. So you're trying a guy now who is the ultimate connector, and let's see how it goes. But, Scott, to your question on the deadline, yeah, they have to be active. They have not solved left field. They had Benintendi. He left as a free agent. They thought Cabrera maybe could be the guy. He's gone backwards. So I don't know where they are with that. And they're a team that has one goal. It's to win the World Series. Now, all teams have that goal in theory, but the Yankees, with their whole thing, it's if you don't win the World Series, the season's a failure. It's ridiculous in many ways, but that's their MO. So to get to that point, they've got to do more, and they have to have better players, and maybe a harsh decision on Donaldson is coming.